Yeah, we're ready. You ready? I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 12th, 2022 Lenoir City Board of Education Board meeting. Start the meeting with roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Here.
Rick Chadwick.
Here.
Lynn McNish.
Here.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Here. If everyone would stand for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. We have a special guest who's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Ms. Hadley Presnell.
Attention salute pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Hadley. Next up, we have a presentation and recognition from Mr. Weeks.
So I wanted to just honor a group of students before you all today to recognize an accomplishment that I think is pretty amazing for high school students that started a few years ago and has come to fruition now with our first graduates. We have a couple of folks here. More questions, you guys both. These two gentlemen here I have graduated with their diploma from welding from TCAP. This is Preston and Landon. You get nervous when you're in front of the board. Landon and Preston, they have graduated from the TCAP welding program with their diploma, and once again before they graduate high school. And this, just to show you how special an accomplishment this is, these are the first two young men of any of the systems that are connected to TCAT Harriman to do that. They're the first high school students to graduate with that diploma before graduating high school. So we have several other students that will continue their welding program after graduation to try to accomplish what these two young men have. So we're proud of them. And next up, something that's a special accomplishment that we have been patient with. Roan State has been patient with us, and we have kind of fought through to try to continue our mechatronics program, and it has paid off. These four individuals have graduated with associate's degrees from Roan State Community College. They had a graduation ceremony last week. So once again, before they graduate high school, they have their associate's degree, and all of them are going to continue on to four-year college to major in mechanical engineering, right? So I thought I saw that on the slides. And so, so these are our first four. We have about 12 more in the cohort as juniors that are coming up, and we've got about 15 to 18 in our sophomore level that are coming up through this. So hopefully this just continues to grow, and we appreciate your all's patience with this developing. They have a short little slideshow to give you a preview of a really cool show. We're going to step to the window.
Mr. Weeks, have them introduce themselves.
Oh yeah, please, you guys. You all probably do better than me.
There you go. Have them do it.
Thank you.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Hadley.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Thomas. So this semester we took a class and we had to make some sort of project. They didn't really care what it was really open-ended. Last year we made a project that could drive around. We turned a lazy boy recliner and we made it drive like a tank. And so it could go like that, and it was really cool. So we wanted to make something that could drive again, but we had a much bigger budget this year, so we got a little more ambitious, and we got that. It's a little rough, but we got it for free, and we had a lot more budget to do what we wanted with it. The drivetrain on it was really rough. Yeah, the rust was really bad. We had to replace a lot of stuff out of that. It was a big project to take on, and that's just a picture of how it was when we first got it. There was mud everywhere, leaves. I think there were some lings living in it. But we got all that out, stripped it down to the paint, and sanded it, took off all the little bitty rust spots, and we completely painted it black.
Good choice.
We got a motor kit for it off of Amazon, and this is the kit and all the stuff listed for that. We have a motor, batteries, motor controller, and stuff like that that we were able to install onto the go-kart so we could drive it at variable speed and yeah, have fun with that. And that's where we installed it on the go-kart. We just put it in the back, hooked the wires or the batteries up in series, and then hooked it to the motor controller and the motor, and that allows us to drive forward and backwards through a forward and reverse contact on the panel. And then we hooked up lights to it because we wanted headlights on it, and that'd be really cool.
Also had the budget for that.
But then we put more lights on it because we want people to see us when we brake, so put the brake lights on the back, and they function as tail lights too when we have the headlights on. And control panel, put all our fancy stuff on there, switches, key, and RPM meter.
No radio, no boombox.
You know, we left out a lot of things. We forgot a horn. We didn't even think. Like everything else on it, it works like a normal. You got your signals, you got everything, but you ain't got a horn or a radio. That's a good idea.
We want turn signals, so people can see where we're turning, because obviously that's important. And we wanted to put those turn signals on the vehicle itself, because, you know, it'd be helpful if they were there. So we printed off the thing so we could attach them to it, and so that's what we printed off, and then we attached it to the go-kart on the back, and then, yeah, that's how we got it there.
So to make that part, we actually put it in, like we took our measurements, made it in the computer, downloaded it as some sort of file, moved it over to the 3D printer, and so from that picture up top, we got that and just put it on the back and the measurements lined up, and it was good to go. This is a picture after we got the lights on, well, the turn signals, they're on the back, they're stuck on, that's the part we had to 3D print, and on the front we have those there too. For the drive system, we got a hub to attach to a sprocket, and to line it up correctly to drill the holes, we made another 3D printed part so it would line up just right, and the center hole would be correct, and so that's how we did that.
So the original, it was originally gas powered, so it had a huge gasoline motor or engine, and obviously we couldn't use that, so we took it off, and then we decided to use this electric motor, and to put it on there, we put a piece of wood down, bolted it to that, and then we bolted that to the frame, but we made it so we could loosen it and move it back and forth, so that the chain wouldn't bounce around as much, and it'd be able to be right where we wanted it.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you changed it from being a gasoline-powered
Yes.
vehicle to an electric-powered.
Yes,
Right.
this was complete gas.
Can I bring you my car?
I don't know about that.
Big enough budget.
With a big enough budget. Yeah, so this was originally all gas. There were no lights, there were no signals, there was nothing. It was a frame and a motor, and it just drove the rear axle. So we swapped it to full electric. The brakes, if one of the earlier pictures you could see the brakes were a little bit rough. Completely rusted. We got a new caliper because the pads are worn out, and then someone somehow, I don't know who would have done that, messed up the brake disc itself when we were taking it on and off. So we had to remount that, flatten it out again because it got a little bit bowed, and so we put it all together again, and those were the brakes. Hardest part was lining it up, but it works now, so we have brakes.
That gave Mr. Smith, the teacher, a little fright because they didn't have brakes when they first put it together. They didn't have a way to stop it driving across the classroom.
Yeah, we drove it around.
Just threw our foot out and tried to grab the.
Yeah, Flintstones brakes. We had Flintstones brakes. This is the little switch we put on there to actuate the brake lights. So we used a normally closed switch, so as soon as the pedal moves a little bit, the switch actuates and it'll trigger the signal that goes back to the tail lights. So the taillights are normally on, but then like a normal car, you press the brake pedal and they'll shine brighter. We actually have safety features, which is crazy. Last year we didn't have that on the chair. We didn't have the budget for that. So we put seatbelts on it this time. There were already holes there from the original seatbelts, so we just widened the hole and bolted it on.
So the pedal itself, we obviously wanted to actually, attach it to the vehicle. So to do this, we printed off a part that we could bolt it to, and then that part would be perfectly designed to fit to the go-kart, so we could bolt it on and it wouldn't move around or come off or do things we didn't want it to. And so that's what we designed, and then we bolted it on just like this, and it works perfectly so far.
We could have just bolted it straight to the frame, but we decided that it was really uncomfortable for your ankle to make that kind of a bend for the pedal. So we put it up at a different angle so it feels more like a car, as much as it can, being down that low, but yeah. This is the RPM gauge we installed. This gives us our brake disc speed, which is on the same shaft as the wheels, so it tells us how fast our wheels are going. So from that, with a lot of math simplified down to like whatever number it's reading out, divide it by 20 and you got pretty close to your miles per hour. So it takes the speed from that brake disc, from an inductive sensor, sends it to the RPM meter, gives you the reading, and then you can do a little bit of math and you got your speed. Someone had something to do with the wheels being painted, so and then we put some mud flaps around the batteries because we didn't want those to get covered in whatever we drove through. This is what it looked like finished. It's full electric now, signals all four corners, seat belts. It's got RPM readout, we have the actual turn signal switch, and it works like a normal car. There's a before and after. I think we did good. But yeah. That's it. So,
some of the stuff they talked about, this was a culminating capstone project, and it showcased a lot of the class material that they learned along the way. And I also forgot to point out that we got another guy that's going to go to mechanical engineering, and Preston's going to go straight to working at Oak Ridge, if I'm not mistaken, with his job for those welding programs. I forgot to mention where they're headed.
From day one you touched it to you completed, how long? I mean,
it was, well, we got it early because we were told we needed to get our parts ready and get everything we could because ordering things is a hassle. So we actually ordered our motor fall semester in like November, and we got it a week after the semester started in spring. So I got the frame probably around that same time we ordered the motor, around there, and so started working on that and ripping it apart. So we had our problems with shipping and then getting bad parts.
There was actually a washer in the motor when we first got it. We had to take apart the motor and void the warranty for it just to find out what was wrong with it, and there was a little washer inside of it.
Yeah, so I guess in the manufacturing process, someone dropped a little bitty washer in there, so you hit your accelerator, and it goes a little bit, and then it makes a really loud noise that's not supposed to make. Everything gets really hot, and it was not good. So we decided to take it apart because we didn't have time for paperwork or shipping. So we ripped it apart, pulled the washer out, and we were good to go. It worked from there on. So, any other questions?
What was your budget?
However much we needed. The budget was through Rowan State this time instead of the high school, and that allowed us they gave us a ballpark. We took out a lot of the slides because we didn't want to bore y'all with everything going through it.
I think we found our next superintendent.
So,
That's right.
they gave us ballpark around $3,000, and I think we only spent like $1,000, but we didn't buy the frame, and that would have been the bulk of it. But everything, all the parts we bought, all the extra parts we had to buy, everything was around $1,000.
So you all have, will have or do have your associates?
Yeah, we all actually just graduated from Rhone State like last week.
So will it only take you 2 years to get your bachelor's?
Not exactly. Depending on what we're going into, I'm going to UT. They don't take all my mechatronics credits going into mechanical engineering, but all my gen ed classes will. So I'll have like a semester going in.
We'll graduate like almost a year early.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm probably going to take some stuff in the summer, and I want to graduate in 3 years.
Very good.
Good job, guys. That's awesome.
Mr. Weeks, so we are going to be able to actually see a demonstration of the vehicle, is that correct?
Yes, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I was trying to
I
direct
know.
traffic
You-
here,
you're
and Mr. Orr's gonna go
distracted.
down and direct traffic down there, so.
Okay.
So we'll continue on with the board meeting, and here in a few minutes, we'll all be able to go over to the window
Yeah.
and actually see the car in action.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to see a video.
Get to see it.
The real thing.
Nothing better than seeing the real thing, right?
Yeah.
Next on the agenda, we have the approval of agenda, and you'll notice we have an addendum agenda as well to be added as the first items under new business.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda with the addendum.
I have a motion by Mr. McNish, second by Mr. Ledbetter. Any further discussions? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item number 7, we have the approval of the executive committee reports. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I apologize. Number 7, approval of the minutes from the April 14th, 2022 regular board meeting.
Motion, we approve the minutes as written.
I have a motion by Mr. Ledbetter, second by Mr. What call you Rick?
Mr. Rick.
Mr. Rick. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Rick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Now, item number 8, approval of the executive committee reports.
I entertain a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Chadwick, second by Mr. McNish. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Mr. Weeks, how are we looking over there?
Not yet.
I ran.
Okay.
They ran out of gas, but they don't have.
Nope, okay.
We'll move on to our first addendum item, approval of the 2022-2023 Lenoir City Schools calendar revision.
Yes, Board, I would like to bring this to you for approval. We already approved the initial calendar, but wanted just to make some additions to the information in the calendar. The dates stay the same, but we have, I've been talking with Mr. Guerin in the county, and we have decided that on August the 2nd, for their first staggered date, we would have students attend whose last name are between A and K. So we're adding that to the information on the calendar. The second staggered day will be last names L through Z, and that will be both systems, so that we can have that time with students. We learned through COVID that was a really valuable time to have that. And then one more addition, this year, if you remember, we changed February the 21st in our, or I believe it's 20th, but the day right after our in-service day for President's Day, we made that also a professional learning day for teachers. And we had a district-wide conference for teachers that was very successful. And so we want to repeat that again next year. So all we would be doing is changing February the 21st to a teacher-only day. It would be professional development for teachers. Students would have an additional day at home. So I just need approval for those pieces.
I'll entertain a motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick.
Since I represented the board on that committee, I'll second that way.
There you go.
I have a second from Mr. Ledbetter. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, I'm getting the thumbs up, so I think we have a show over here. So I guess if everyone will go and take a look out the window. Mr. Rick?
Yes, sir.
I don't know why.
That's-
So you're the only one having a problem. That's fine, Mr. Rick.
I know. Y'all have to be on the gate all day? Did you see that? I bet you wore it out. What part did the old car play in? You probably sat down all day.
Sounded just right.
Oh, yeah, don't let her go.
Yeah. I just got it. Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm gonna start bringing all my students in to throw in little stuff like that. Like we need money for, and present.
All right, let's, we'll get back to the board meeting. That was very impressive from work, some very impressive kids, so. Next item on the agenda, addendum number 2, approval of the LCHS surplus property report.
It's pretty standard. You just list some things that we'd like to surplus.
Make a motion. I'll take it.
I have a motion by Mr. Mish, a second by Mr. Chadwick. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Aye.
All right. Item number 11, approval of the paving bid for the old central office parking lot.
Yes, board, you have there the results of the bids, and the recommendation would be to go with the low bid of $38,000.
Okay, motion, we approve the low bid of, what, 38.5?
I probably should have said that will be paid with grant funds. So that does not impact our budget.
Oh, you like that better?
It is.
I have a motion by Mr. Ledbetter, a second by Mr. Chadwick. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Aye.
Item number 12, approval of the photography bid for LCHS.
Well, since Miss Hoagland recommended this, it must be good. So I'll make a motion we approve.
I have a motion by Mr. McNish,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Chadwick. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item number 13, approval of the food service vendor recommendation.
And I don't, there she is. Ms. Bivens is back here, so if you have any questions, Vicky, do you want to speak to the recommendations?
We only had one turn in, so we're gonna recommend we use them. It is the same ones that we have now, so products should stay the same standards. Of course, prices increased, but.
I'll entertain a motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick,
Second.
second from Mr. Ledbetter. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Aye.
Item number 14, approval of the LCHS class fees for 2022-2023 school year.
We talked about this in a workshop.
We did.
I'll entertain a motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick,
Second.
second by Mr. Knish. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
No.
Item number 15, approval of the following policy revisions. This would be policy 1.102, board members' legal status, policy 5.109, evaluation, and policy 5.117, teacher tenure. All of these were the policies we reviewed in our workshop 2 weeks ago. Anything
I'll
you want to
entertain
add?
a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Chadwick,
Second.
I have a second by
It did
Mr.
include, instead of the district, the legal resident of Little City, like,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was a second by Mr. Ledbetter, is that right?
yes.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item number 16, election of board chairman.
Be Matthew Coleman.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Chadwick, a second by Mr. McNish, I believe it was, or no, Mr. Ledbetter. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
I'll abstain.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
What are you paying for votes?
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 17, election of vice chairman.
Rick Chadwick.
I have-
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Ledbetter and a second by Mr. McNish. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Abstain.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Again.
Hey, if you don't vote for me, that means one of you guys. I won't know that.
That's good. Good point, good point.
Item number 18, election of a Tennessee Legislative Network representative.
Glenn McNish.
Yeah, I'll second that.
I have a motion by Mr. Ledbetter, a second by Mr. Chadwick. Any further discussion?
Get everybody on the
Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish. Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, item number 19, superintendent's comments.
Board, I just want to take this opportunity to say how proud I am of the work that our teachers have done this year and our administrators and the support that we've had in the community to accomplish some of the goals that you saw today. Some of these students that are graduating, and they're our next generation leaders. Maybe even the superintendent. Mr. McNish. I think it's doing way better. But they're sharp. They are well prepared, and I can't say how proud I am of the work that our teachers have done from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And so we got to put that work on display today. I know we were a little late getting our room ready today because we have spent all day today hosting University of Tennessee Knoxville and their teacher ed prep program to come and spend time in our classrooms to see what our teachers are doing and to begin the conversations in partnership with how we can change teacher education for getting teachers that are ready to come into our classrooms and hit the ground running. There's been a disconnect in the past. K-12 education has been changing, and it's been a little bit slow at the higher
ed work to support that. And so today was a huge day for us here in the district. And I just want to thank our teachers who allowed these visitors in their classrooms, as well as administrators who made it happen, because, you know, we only have, 5 instructional days left before school's out. So this time of year is very, very busy. But to be willing to take advantage of this opportunity to move our work forward, not only for us, but for every student that goes to these teacher prep programs. I was, again, just impressed so much with the work. And so I just want the board to know that that's what we've been doing today, and that's why it took us a few minutes to change. But it was great. It was great. Tonight is our senior awards at the high school. Every other grade level up to now has been through their awards, with the exception of kindergarten. And kindergarten graduation will be Monday at
9 a.m. in the auditorium at the high school.
And it's also an emotional time, but a wonderful time.
8th grade awards is also Monday evening.
Monday evening. Okay, thank you. So all of those things are exciting, but also exciting is the fact that we are honoring Mr. Maloney. I told you about his retirement, and we've got a reception for him Monday afternoon as well. And we would like to welcome to the Lenoir City Elementary Principal's position beginning next year, Dr. Amanda Tinker. So we thank you, Dawn, again for your service, and we look forward to continuing the growth that we have seen at the elementary school and the great things that are happening there. So thank you, Amanda.
Uncle Burris, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
West
that's
Town
what it is.
and Gatlinburg.
Oh.
Doing both places. I
Well,
said
if
when I
you're right.
retired, I was riding the moose.
Which one you doing first?
Gatlinburg.
Okay, I might not make it to
Bring it in.
West End. And if you may, just say
If
no.
it comes right down to it, I may just sit on it and get a picture too.
Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no.
I'm old.
No, we want video.
Anyway, sorry about that.
No.
That's a kind of a side story.
You know I'm gonna let you know
You
that.
brought it up.
You promised.
Does anyone have anything else?
I've said enough.
Well, thank you again, Don, for all the work you've done for the kids in this community.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. You know, over half my time's been in this system, and of the 47 years, and I wouldn't have changed a thing. And it couldn't have done it without, you know, the support and, you know, Rick and Mitch, you all been on board as long as I've been here.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a.
We kind of
wonderful,
grew up
wonderful
together.
experience. Do what?
We kind of grew up together.
Yeah, we did. didn't we?
Grew old together too.
Grew old together too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like to congratulate the Lenoir City High School baseball team winning
Yep.
the district
Yeah.
for the first time since 1995. Regional
Monday.
semis Monday.
Monday.
Do we have a time yet?
We do not have a time yet. I'm waiting on that.
But
And our
We'll tweet
coach
it
was
out.
selected as Coach of the Year
He was.
for the district.
Congratulations, Coach Simmons. Lastly, we have our next meeting, will be a workshop meeting on Thursday, May 26th at 11. That's all I have. Nobody has anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Knish, second Mr. Ledbetter. Any further discussion? Roll call.
You want to stay?
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Lynn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Yeah.
We gonna have a parking spot.